Hello and welcome back to Betting School from the Form Guide. This is Course 9, Accumulators, and it is a course we have been both looking forward to and slightly dreading because the Acca is Britain's favourite bet and the maths behind it deserves an honest hearing. Here is the roadmap. First, why the Acca feels irresistible. The small stake, the life-changing number, the one slip that carries a whole Saturday. Then the killer maths, how the bookmaker's margin compounds with every leg you add, and what a fourfold really costs. Then a reality check. What happens when four so-called bankers meet a multiplication sign? Then a question that answers itself, why the adverts are wall-to-wall Accas. After that, the rare cases where a multiple is defensible, the each-way ace car and its exotic cousins, and the most honest chapter in the series. None of it is a lecture, it is the maths laid flat on the table. And then you decide. Kettle on. Let's begin. Let's start by being fair to the ace car because it is a beautifully designed thing. A pound, sometimes 50 pence, buys a number at the bottom of the slip with 3 or 4 figures in it. That asymmetry feels like a bargain. Risk the price of a coffee, dream about a holiday. Then there is the afternoon itself. One slip ties 6 matches or 6 races together, so every result everywhere suddenly matters to you for hours. And when 5 legs land and the 6th falls at the last, it never feels like losing. It feels like nearly winning, which is precisely the feeling that sells the next slip. None of this makes anyone a fool. It makes the Acca superb product design, which is exactly why the maths deserves a proper look. Now, the engine room of the whole course. You know from course 2 that every single bet carries a margin, call it 5%, baked quietly into the prices. The Acca's trick is subtler than that. When you multiply prices together, you multiply the margins together too. Let's walk it, one leg at a time. Here is the whole mechanism in one breath. Course 2 showed that a typical price hands you about 95% of fair value. 5% stays with the book. Back a single and you pay that toll once, but an accumulator multiplies the prices of every leg together. And when you multiply the prices, you multiply the 95s as well. 2 legs is 95% of 95%, roughly 90% of fair value. 3 legs about 86, 4 legs about 81.5. The bookmaker's 5% edge has quietly become nearly 19. You made one decision and you paid 4 margins. Let's put the whole ladder on screen. Here is what the book keeps at 5% a leg. A single 5% the everyday toll. A double, 9.8. A treble, 14.3. So nearly 3 singles worth of margin riding on one slip. The fourfold in gold is the classic Saturday bet. 18.5%, so call it 19. Almost 4 times the edge you faced on a single. 5 legs, 22.6. And the 6-fold odd, the one the adverts love most, 26.5%. More than a quarter of the slip's fair value is gone before a ball is kicked or a stall opens. The same 5% tax collected 6 times over. Now, forget the margin for a moment. This is pure probability and it stings all on its own. Take 4 selections you would happily call bankers, each one an 80% chance, 1 to 4 shots, the sort that win far more often than not. 1 leg, 80%, lovely. 2 legs together, 64. 3 legs, 51.2, barely better than even money. And all 4, 41%. Read that again. 4 bets you were confident about, and the slip as a whole is now less likely to land than a coin toss. Nothing went wrong. That is simply what multiplication does to certainty. It erodes it leg by leg. Let's sit with why that result feels so wrong. Our brains judge the legs one at a time. 4 strong selections, 4 confident nods. It's easy money, mate. But the slip doesn't pay on the legs, it pays on the whole chain, and a chain fails if any one link does. With 4 legs at 80% each, the chance that at least one lets you down is 59%. The failure is the favourite, which means the near miss is not bad luck. It is the single most likely outcome. Priced in before the slip left your hand, the bookmaker never needs your selections to be bad. They just need them to be numerous. Here is a question that answers itself. Watch any football broadcast, walk past any shop window, open any betting app on a Saturday morning. What are they pushing? Never singles. It is Accas. Boosted Accas, Acca insurance. Supercharged six-folds. Companies advertise their most profitable products. Sit with that for a second. Then let's measure the shelf. No bookmaker publishes a menu of its margins by the product, but the advertising spend writes one for them. Singles are the shop's thinnest business. Sharp customers hammer them, and competition trims the margin down. The accumulator is the opposite. High margin, loved by casual money, and almost never attacked by professionals, so the marketing pours onto it. And those generous-looking boosts, when your starting margin is 26%, you can hand a few points back, call it a super boost, and still be running the most profitable line in the building. The boost is real. Real. The generosity comes from a very great height. The adverts are not a clue. They are a confession. Here is the shelf priced honestly. At the top, exchange commission, around 2%, what betting costs where firms genuinely compete. Win singles at a traditional bookmaker, about 5%. Each way singles, once the place terms have done their quiet work, nearer 8. Course 5 told that story. Then the jump. The fourfold Acca, 18.5%. The sixfold, 26.5%. Now, which products get the television slots, the shop windows, and the push notifications, the red bars? Never the green one. When a business begs you to buy one particular product, the margin is usually the reason, and here it is, measured. Time to talk about the number that actually sells the slip, the potential payout. £50 from a single pound, and it is real. That is genuinely what lands, if every leg obliges. But course 3 taught us that the honest question is never the best case, it is the average case. What a pound expects back if the bet were replayed forever. The best case is printed on the slip in bold. The average case is printed nowhere at all, so let's print it ourselves. The same pound, 4 different ways. A single, a double, a treble, and a fourfold, measured in plain pennies. Every bar on this screen loses value. Let's be clear about that first, because that is the margin doing its everyday work. But look how differently they lose. A pound in win singles expects 95 pence back, a 5 pence toll for the entertainment. The same pound as a double, 90.3. As a treble, 85.7. And as the classic Saturday fourfold, 81.5 pence, nearly 19 pence of every pound gone at the moment the bet is struck, before a horse has run or a whistle has blown. The slip promised the biggest number in the shop. The expectation is the smallest number on this screen. Now, the fair-minded chapter, because the maths cuts both ways, everything that compounds against you would compound for you if every leg held genuine value. 3 legs, each carrying 5% of value in your favour. Multiply up to roughly 16% on the treble, the same engine running in reverse. So a multiple is defensible in exactly one situation. When course 3's work has been done on every single leg, each one stands alone as a value bet, and the legs are truly independent of one another. That is the catch, and it is enormous. Finding one wrong price is genuinely hard. Finding 4 on the same afternoon, all uncorrelated. Rare enough that every Acca deserves to be treated as guilty until proven innocent. 2 shop window features deserve a careful read before we move on. Acca insurance sounds like the fix. One leg lets you down and the stake comes back. Look closer. It usually returns as a free bet, not cash. Spendable only on more betting, often on terms where the stake is not returned with any winnings. Its true cost to the book is a fraction of its face value. Boosts are more interesting. Occasionally, a boost genuinely pushes a price past the fair line, and course 2's arithmetic will tell you when. But a boost measured against a 26% margin usually lands you at 20. Better, still bleak. The rule for all of it: convert every offer into pennies per pound. Adjectives are marketing. Pennies are maths. A quick tour of the exotics counter, because the HCR has cousins. The each-way Acca doubles course 5's problem. The place part of every leg carries its own tightened terms, and then the Acca multiplies those together as well. Margin stacked upon margin. The Lucky 15, the Yankee, the Canadian, lovely names for bundles of multiples. A Lucky 15 is 15 bets from 4 selections, 4 singles, 6 doubles, 4 trebles, and a 4-fold. And every multiple inside it pays the compounding toll we measured earlier. Bet builders multiply outcomes from the same match. Outcomes the book has priced, knowing full well they are correlated with margin trimmed into every line. None of these are scams, they are products. But the more exotic the name, the more multiplication is happening under the costume. And you now know exactly what multiplication does. Every betting school course carries an honest chapter, and this one has been building since the first scene. We have measured the margins and multiplied the probabilities. What remains is the question the maths cannot answer for you, right? What an Acca is actually for. Here is our honest attempt at it. Here is the honest truth, and we mean it kindly. As a money-making strategy, the accumulator is a slow puncture, 19% margins, coin toss bankers, expectation in the low 80s, and no reading of the form fixes it because it is built into the multiplication itself. But that is not the only honest way to hold one. The Acca is the lottery ticket of betting, and lottery tickets are not frauds. They are entertainment, priced as entertainment. A pound that buys an afternoon where every result in the country matters to you. For plenty of people, that is money well spent. So the test is brutally simple. If the fun is the point, budget it as fun. Like a cinema ticket, spent, enjoyed, gone. The moment the dream becomes the plan, the Echo has changed jobs. And its new job is picking your pocket. Let's carve it into stone. The margin multiplies 5% a leg. Becomes 18.5 on a 4-fold and 26.5 on a 6-fold. 1 decision, 6 tolls. Probability multiplies the same way. 480% bankers make a 41% slip, worse than a coin toss with nothing going wrong. The bookmakers know all of this, which is why the adverts, the boosts, and the notifications are wall-to-wall ACRs. Firms promote their most profitable product, and that is a confession, not a clue. A multiple is defensible only when every leg is an independent, genuine value bet. Rare enough to be a unicorn. The Exotics stack the same margin in fancier dress, and the honest verdict, as entertainment, priced and budgeted as entertainment, the 8K is fine. As a strategy, the multiplication never stops working against you. And that completes course 9. You can now do something most people holding a Saturday slip cannot: price it honestly. You can compound a margin leg by leg, turn 4 bankers into their true 41%, explain why the adverts are full of Accas, recognise the rare defensible multiple, and see the each-way Acca for the costume it is. What you do with that is entirely yours, and our job was the maths, and the maths is now yours too. Next time, course 10, variance and keeping a record. Why honest bookkeeping is the only mirror that never flatters, and how to tell a bad run from a bad method. Subscribe so it lands in your feed, and the daily shows of 7, midday, 4 and 10 will keep your eye in between courses. Now the serious bit said with warmth. Everything in betting school is education and opinion only, so never financial advice and never an instruction to bet. If you choose to play an Acca, let it be for the fun of it with money that is truly spare, and enjoy the afternoon it buys. Betting is for adults aged 18 and over. If it ever stops being fun or starts to feel like a need, talk to someone. That is begambleaware.org. Thank you for studying with me. See you in course 10.